Mr. Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Now, we all have a crazy uncle or a cousin somewhere with a mild genetic defect that is constantly destroying our family life. You know, he's a wrecking ball with your bloodline and last name. He's a dude that's mad, drunk, and belligerent at weddings or throws himself on grandma's coffin at the funeral. It's always about him, you know? He's always high and or drunk, uneducated, and no one is sure how he makes his money. And when you ask him, hey, how's that recycled medical waste business you were starting going? He always says something like, I ain't doing that no more. I got something better. His life is a mess. Like Gary Busey and R. Kelly spliced DNA to create Axl Rose. And you are so tired of him. Well, that guy I just described, ladies and gentlemen, is now President of the United States. We are so used to stupid now. Something that would shut down the government in the last 5 decades and get you thrown out of the White House like David Duke at one of Snoop Dogg's house parties.
Run, motherfucker, run.
It's just an everyday occurrence in Trump's America in 2019. You know, you're getting used to it. Do you get that? It's creeping in. It's like climate change, except with stupid. Things are getting dumber every day. And you Trump voters, I love you, but you are definitely moron deniers. Our president, Uncle Doofus McDumbass, went on the world stage and again embarrassed a country of 330 million people. How did he do it? Well, let me count the ways. First of all, he said the G7 supported him in his ridiculous trade war, and all the countries went, nah, bro, that wasn't us. In fact, England's prime minister and one-man Benny Hill tribute band, Boris Johnson, said, we'd like to dial it down a bit if we could, absolutely. The difference between Boris Johnson and Donald Trump is Boris Johnson plays an idiot. Trump is an idiot. See, Trump would be the one who asked Boris,
tell you what,
About the rabbit.
not tonight.
Now, Trump said he missed the climate change meeting because he was meeting with Germany and India. Except Germany and India were at the climate change meeting. He said China called him to go back and do a trade deal. China said, we didn't call, bro. You've been catfish. We've been ghosting you. Ha ha. He lied. He looked addled, and then, in his last speech, instead of bringing the world together, tried to whore his resort for the next meeting.
Very importantly, only 5 minutes from the airport. The airport's right next door.
We have lost our way. You know, some Americans are fine with this man leading a country that can't speak the language of that country.
An anonymous, really an anonymous.
A man with the vocabulary of a fourth grader after a traumatic brain injury.
God bless the United States.
On opioids.
I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
In a coma. Whose wife obviously can't wait to get around a real man. Look at this picture. Yeah, that picture would have ended movie night at my house. Do you remember who we used to have lead us? And I'm not talking about the last guy. I'm talking about the last 4 guys. The eloquence.
We instead begin a new century and a new millennium with a hopeful affirmation of human rights and human dignity.
Or,
you're not going to raise that fucking price.
do you remember the last guy at the G7?
The terms of peace may be negotiated by political leaders, but the fate of peace is up to each of us.
From a real president to a low-rent travel agent, even this guy who we mocked because we thought he didn't speak well.
We've got too much to do in a world beset by terror, poverty, and disease to allow a policy difference to prevent us from working together.
Well, we were wrong, W. We apologize because we had no idea what was coming.
It's political bullshit. She said he's a pussy. And you can tell them to go themselves.
To all of you, this isn't normal. But it is now. If you're okay with how things are going, the pussy grab and the incompetence, farmers losing billions, debt up $4 trillion, deficit $1 trillion a year, people's livelihoods over because the best deal maker craps the bed on the economy daily, a guy who couldn't sell water, steak, or vodka. You get that's food, water, and alcohol. How do you fail at selling things that keep people alive? A guy who bankrupted casinos. Well, he's now in charge of the biggest economy in the world. You good that our elected Uncle Douchebag is embarrassing us worldwide? Then maybe you should move to Russia. Because as we all know, Putin's running the show now anyway. Dos Vidonia, bitches. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Coming up next, Josh Wolf. Hey everybody, Titus, for the Titus podcast, with me as always, the lovely Bombshell Ray. And this week...
Wait. You have to let me say hi.
Sorry, let's do it again.
Okay.
Hi everybody, the Titus podcast. With me as always, the lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
Say it again.
Hi, what do you
say
want
hi,
me to
what's
say?
up, people?
Hi, I just said it.
I know, we're going to put all this in. We're not
Okay.
going to, like Eminem said, make a mistake, just keep it. But with me...
Yeah, we're
with
exactly the same.
With me, actually, one of the funniest cats working, tours all over the country, all over the world, which I want to get to, Mr. Josh Wolf, ladies and
Hi,
gentlemen.
man. How are you? Good
And
to
what
see you.
I want to get it
Thank
right
you.
out. What's the special you just released?
Father of the Year.
Father of the Year. You got to watch it. And like the rest of us, you've decided, you know what? Fuck the gatekeepers. I'm doing this on my own.
Yeah, put it right on. At first, I shot it myself, and I put it on my website, and then I put it on YouTube.
Right.
And it's just been, it's been going bananas. And the bigger networks outside of maybe that one,
Yeah.
it's diminishing returns. Like
Yes.
there's no reason we
Yeah.
can do it ourselves now and have control over our content, which was always my sticking point. Like, wait a second, this is me, right?
Right.
This is me doing my work.
That's the
Right.
whole business. The Barry Gordy model is the old model.
Yeah.
Yeah, So here's what we're going to do.
All
We're
right.
going to book you. You're going to put butts in seats at
Yep.
these theaters and these clubs. We're going to take 75% of that, period. Oh, by the way, and your album, we're going to own it in perpetuity. Your comedy special, forever, we own it.
Yeah.
We will send you a breakdown of what you made when we feel like it, and probably only after your attorney gets involved.
And
That's how it works.
trust us.
That's
the
how
the numbers will be real. Trust us. We've been
Oh, yeah.
crunching.
Oh.
We've been crunching them. So
A lot of reshelving, stocking fees.
Fees.
I have a friend of mine who was I don't want to tell his story.
Welcome
without,
to Showbiz Bitch
Yeah.
with Christopher
But
Titus,
let me
Rachel
tell you.
Badley, and Josh Wolf.
I have a friend of mine who was a producer on a big movie.
Yep.
Let's just call it a Will Smith movie when Will Smith was making a lot of money in his movies.
Right.
So he was like
Peak Will Smith. We're at Peak Smith.
Peak Smith.
We are Peak Smith.
Pre-Genie Smith. Got it.
This producer friend of mine went out and got the story, bought the rights to the story, brought the story to everybody. This story doesn't happen without my friend. So he's like, I'm like, how much are you getting paid? And he told me, he goes, but I got big back end. I'm like, oh, buddy. I go, you're going to get it in the big back end.
Yeah, exactly.
They have big accountants. Watch what happens to your big back end.
This movie worldwide did hundreds of millions of dollars, but somehow showed up profit at the end of the day, $10 million. $10 million profit.
Wow.
He got raped.
Yep.
And he had nothing because they go hear the books.
Yeah.
This is what we spent on it.
Here's your contract. Did you read your contract?
Yeah.
It's really long.
This is what you
What you
got.
have to look for is on that list of expenses, one of the people that they're paying is the person that fakes the books. It's actually someone that creates the fake spreadsheet that I think he made $4.83 off of his highest grossing special ever over 5 years.
There's a
What?
company, and they made. I think they pulled deep six figures, and not a million, but they pulled deep six figures. So I get that number. I'm like, yes, and it was they were supposed to send me quarterly. It took them 5 years to send me one piece of paper. Finally get and when they did send me one
and
piece
it
of
was
paper,
in crayon. Which
they
was
sent me
weird.
one piece. Yeah, they sent me one piece of paper. I'm not kidding. They sent me one piece of paper. I opened the envelope. It folded out. It said gross. It said production expenses, shelving expenses, advertising, promotion.
Shelving expenses?
Shelving.
What does that mean? They build shelves?
Returns,
Yes.
returns. Which well, send me the returns. You don't have the rights to. Oh,
Yeah.
we don't have that. We don't have access to that. What? Then you've charging me for them? And then it said at the bottom they owe me. It was like $4.82. And I was like, I told her, I said, just write fuck you on the paper.
You should have opened it and should have said fuck you.
And a fist. Bam.
Yeah, and some glitter. Yeah. And a little bit of glitter.
Just a little glitter bomb.
And you're like, oh, that's nice. Oh, that's not as nice. Yeah.
Glitter fist fuck you. There you go.
That would have been.
Then I got the glitter fist fuck you letter. Did you get that? Because yeah.
By the way, that basically is Hollywood.
Yep.
Because you're opening up an envelope that you think is gonna be great. Glitter.
Yeah.
And then through the glitter comes a fist.
Yes.
Oh, question. I wonder if it would be possible.
That's also marriage and divorce.
That is true. Wow. Yeah.
Glitter fist fuck
thanks
you.
for just we pulled the emergency break on this conversation.
You got sad.
Yeah,
You
I
went,
did. I've been through that. I wonder if we could actually do, because I put my own money into a special unit, and I put my own money into my comedy specials. And by the way, special unit, the film, that's a slower, return on it.
Yep.
But there's money coming in. But it's, I'm not even yet. But the comedy specials I have made money on.
Yeah.
I always wonder if there was a bunch of guys we could get together, because we've done 5. We're shooting Here's in February. We're shooting my next one in about a year. We'll be 6 comedy specials. I wonder if we could just get a bunch of guys and just go, yeah, we all have a production thing, and we help other comics.
100%.
We should do that.
100% we could.
Yeah.
And it makes so much more sense for all of us to control our content. And look, I know you know how to get fucked. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but we can basically go, look, man, and be completely open and be like, hey, this is the deal. You know the deal. You've done this before. Yeah. We're just here to push everybody up.
Right.
What? And let's just give a network off the top of my head. Let's call it Showtime.
Okay. Showtime
For
sounds
example.
like an imaginary network.
Yes. So say your comedy specials on Showtime.
Right.
Do you know anybody whose tickets move because they're on Showtime?
No, actually, we're friends with a lot of club owners, and specifically, I was told by a guy who's done it for Tony's been done it 25, 30 years. Yeah, Schomburg.
Yeah.
So, who's awesome. He's old school.
Yep.
He's like, he said, I go, Comedy Central specials. He goes, nope. I go, I said, America's Got Talent. He goes, yeah, for about 8 months. And then he goes, and it's
a different crowd. It's a crowd that hasn't usually come out to do comedy.
Yeah.
And they're very clean. They don't like anything edgy.
Yep.
It's a very specific audience that isn't used to comedy clubs.
Right. So he said that it doesn't move the needle anymore.
And Netflix, he said hit and miss.
Netflix will do it, depending. I know
internationally, Netflix sells tickets.
Does it? Yeah. Well, not for me. By the way, that's what I want to get to. So you just toured. Josh just went on a world tour. You just went.
I did the UK, but a couple months ago, I did Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah, how was the UK?
So good, man.
Yeah.
So good. I had so much fun there. And you know what is great? You know that ooh factor you get in the States?
Right.
You don't get that overseas. They just want to hear the jokes. Are they funny? No ooh. No oh.
They
did
just
he
get
say
quiet.
That? No, they just laugh. If it's funny, they laugh. Yeah. There's no line of you shouldn't say that. There just is no... Especially in England, it was in Dublin, is it funny? But I'll tell you something about Dublin, which was interesting. Because right now, when you get used to touring in front of your fans,
right?
It gets easier.
True that.
It gets easier.
Yeah.
Because they want to see you.
Right.
And not only that, you probably have ticks in Titus things that your fans know and like.
Right.
And laugh when you do a heavy sigh. They know what that sigh means because they know you.
Right. They know my style.
They know. So you take that for granted a little bit. The one thing I will say about Dublin.
True that.
Is that, and they told me this going up, hey, they're comedy fans, but they're not going to give you any courtesy laughs. It's funny or it's not.
I like that.
I loved it. So the first night, there were some points in my stories, and you know what? It made me better the next night because I was like, oh, I've been getting easy laughs from my fans. This joke is not as good as it could be.
Yeah.
And they showed me that.
I tell you, it's like performing in Denver. You got to take it outside of Denver to make sure that it's really funny.
Yeah, because Denver, we're all Chappelle.
It's magical. Yes.
That's right. Denver. When you just train that audience so well. I've done that. I've actually gone up at the downtown club where I walked out and go, I still don't know if it's funny.
Yeah.
Still don't know. Why? Because they went crazy and got a standing O. Well, that's awesome. No, not here. It's not. No. And that's normal here. That's what happens here.
Exactly. I'll tell you what. Look, I walk off that stage every night in Denver with a boner. I'm like, this is the best place ever.
Oddly enough.
But I don't know if that joke works.
Yeah, Denver's so good. If you do a real estate seminar in that club, they will lift you up and walk you out to the street. So you're right. We're not. Not really the barometer to check. So Dublin was awesome, and
UK, England was great, man. I did the Soho Theater, which was, these are all for me. It's all super humbling to me. I will tell you, this is what's humbling more and more as I go out there. I know who's on my list of people that I would leave the house to go see.
Right.
Yeah.
So the fact that I'm on somebody's list is so humbling. Yeah. But then to go overseas and be like, you know who I am?
Yeah.
Every night when I got on stage was just like, I can't believe these people left their house to come see me. Blew my mind. Like, it was good for me to reconnect with comedy in that way. Like, oh, I'm even getting goosebumps thinking about it. To reconnect in comedy and be like, oh, this is really so cool that I get to do this, and they have taken time out of their day to come hear my dick jokes.
Right, exactly.
And spent money. I think about that a lot.
Blows my mind.
It's crazy.
I
talk to people in line at the end, and you'll hear people say things like, "Oh, we saved up to get these tickets," or "We aren't going to be able to eat next week," and they're joking, but they're not. You know what I mean? And you really
Who's on your list? Who's on your list of people that you, musician or comedy? I'm not sure who I'm paying to go see just because I'm.
Yeah, we could just walk in.
But who's on your list of to leave the house to go see?
Well, Springsteen will go
for
see.
Sure.
So now think about this. You're somebody's Springsteen, which is what helped me, honestly. Every time I get a little bit like, what the I think, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky that I'm somebody's Springsteen or I'm somebody's Prince. Now, obviously, we're not that good, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So every time.
I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm on 9, motherfucker. I'm on 9. I ain't 36 albums in, but I'm on 9.
By the way, him laughing hysterically like that is way better than going, or no. It's just...
but I like it, man. But I'm like, you're on 9. That's pretty good. That was going to be my question that I asked you. I started in and I said, no, I want to ask you this. Like, that's so 9 hours.
It's what you said. It connects.
90 minutes.
No, 90 minutes. So it's 12 hours, whatever it is.
12 hours.
So check this out. The reason I do it is because of what you said. It is not fair for these people to pay money to see me. We have a killer show. A year later, they come see me again. I'm not forcing the same turd down their throat. I have a new turd for them. And they're like, yeah, give us the new turd.
Yeah.
They want to hear the new stuff. And everyone comes up to me and they go, how do you do that? I go, how do I not do that? You guys keep coming back to see me.
This is why you don't do your own PR.
I know, yeah.
Titus drops a new turd. You gotta cram that down your throat.
Open your mouth.
That's my humble. That's my humble. But
how do you feel about going back and doing the same show? Because a lot of people are
he keeps doing
excited
new stuff,
about it.
Here's the one thing. The one thing and even this time around the country, I feel like I'm cheating a little bit. But the people who are coming to I had put out a story about my best practical joke ever.
Yep.
It got something crazy between Facebook and YouTube, like 70 million views.
Wow.
Now, people were, and when I recorded that story, and it was like 11 minutes, I wasn't as good of a comic. And people were coming to hear that story.
When was this?
When did I record it?
Yeah, how long ago was this?
I probably recorded it 4.5 years ago.
But you just put it out not long ago.
So, and I put it out probably 2 years ago.
Okay.
Right? And so the joke is 11 minutes long. I called my friend. I'm like, look, people are coming to the show to hear this story again. This guy who pulled the joke on. He had always made me keep like half of the story out because it's so embarrassing to him. I said the only way I can go back around the country with this story is if you let me add those 9 minutes, and it makes it a brand new story. I said, but I would really appreciate it because people are coming in. He was like, no problem. So I do like to go in with new. This time around, because people are coming to hear that specifically.
Yep.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I had an interesting conversation with a guy, a comic who I'm not going to mention. But my thing was also, it's not my show. Are they coming to hear that story?
Yeah.
Who cares what my feelings are about
Some
it?
comics have those bits. Kreischer does the Machine. He
Yeah.
still does it.
Yeah.
He does a new show, then he does the Machine. The problem with this is when you get something that's iconic and you have a story like that, God bless. I wish I had something like that. Comedy is temporary. Music is forever. It crosses lines once in a while. Something like if I went to see Carlin and he was still alive, I'd go do modern. Yeah, I want to see you do Modern Man because how do you remember that? How do you I want to see I want to see that live.
You think people who go see Dice want to see old Dice?
His audience,
No,
I think that
I would say they did once, right?
I bet you they want to hear Hickory Dickory Dock.
Still?
Yeah.
I bet
When
you
we
they
went
do.
and saw Bill Cosby, God rest his soul, as Elaine Boozler says, I would be, he would do his show, and then he finished with the dentist bit.
He'd do the dentist
See,
bit.
I would want to hear that too.
Yeah.
I
And
think.
we did, you know. You
Was it
wouldn't-
funny live? As funny live as you, even though you knew the bit?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, because of the yes.
And there was recall, like, oh yeah, and it was interactive kind of.
So I like to finish a complete show and then dump it. But if there was something, if pedophile crucifixion, if somebody said, dude, you got to do pedophile,
Yeah.
I'd be like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna finish this show and then get my applause. I'm gonna come back out and go, you guys want one more bit? Here we go, and I do that.
I would love to see you do pedophile crucifixion.
Yeah,
actually.
especially right now. Wow. We've
Your fans, dude, would love that.
Yeah, I think
your
you just haven't
fans,
given the opportunity. I think you're wrong when you just said that. That
100
would be one of the bits that, as a
I
comedy
agree.
fan, it was. He acts it out.
I
He's
100%
nailing the
agree.
guy with the cross behind him, and he's an Irish Catholic
okay.
priest.
So 2 specials from now.
No.
I'm going to do a best of. I'm gonna just
No.
I'm gonna do a wheel of Titus. I'm gonna learn all the bits.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do all the bits on the wheel. I'm gonna go.
I love that.
I'm gonna get. You know, that's be a lot of specials. You know, you figure you could do the Springsteen story. You could just put all the stuff on there and go. And we gotta go. And then you have a bit for that, and then go.
I
Oh shit! I
love
don't know if I
that.
remember this one. And just that would be fun.
That's
For sure, that one you could start with now, though. That could be like an encore bit.
if you brought the wheel out for an encore. I'm not kidding. If you brought the wheel
Such a
out
good idea.
for an encore, because your fans are your fans,
Mhm,
man, and
mhm.
and especially if you brought something back from, say you took something off of the second hour.
Yeah.
I bet you if you went back, you'd be like, I'm gonna tweak that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna-
Of course.
I'm gonna
yeah.
make
Yeah.
that.
Of course, you make it better.
You'd make it a little different. You're you're a better writer. You understand who you are
Right.
more. But if you went back, spun the wheel, and tweaked,
The bitch
Well, you
would be
know
to
you would.
relearn it. The bitch would be to go
Yeah.
back and relearn all it. Because I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I don't have a lot of RAM.
yeah,
So I keep having to clear the hard drive. Why? We're out of memory. And just
Dump
do
it.
Yeah,
Well,
gotta do
that's the thing I thought was interesting was you said when I first did it, I wasn't as good of a comic.
Yes.
And most people would think, oh, it was 10 years ago. And you said, oh, it was 2.5 years before you released it. And that is a massive difference in comedy.
I will tell you, the growth in my last 3 years has been so much steeper than at any other point in
How
my
far
life.
are you in now?
Man, I'm in, 20 years.
Okay,
Wow.
so you have all the theory.
You do always talk about it like it's a prison sentence. You
But
do.
20 years is
How-
about the
it
time.
How long have
is.
you been in?
How, by the way, you travel across the country. You stay in shitty hotels. You work with people that are trying to rip you off. You
Yeah.
got drunk people yelling at you. It kind of is.
Yeah.
It kind of is a prison sentence.
Those
to
first
a-
5 years
to a
are.
degree. I
Oh,
love it. By the way,
man.
I love it. And you have to be a certain human being. Like you're one of the guys. Like there's certain guys I see on the list, and so everybody wants a TV show. Then there's certain guys that are like, yeah, I want that, and I'm not never stopping doing this. This is what I do.
Yeah.
Everything else is lagniappe, is what they say. You know, is extra. And I this is what I do. It's what I'm gonna do till I die. I want to go out like Dick Shawn. I want to have a heart attack on stage. He was doing a bit. Dick Shawn. I've talked about this before. Dick Shawn was doing a bit. Did we talk about this? Didn't we talk about this?
I read the article, man.
Yeah, he's
great.
doing a bit about anger management
Yeah.
guy, and he who can't. I just thought that's fucking perfect. Did he plan it? Because what a way to end.
Yeah.
Where the anger management guy gets angrier and angrier, and he fucking falls out, and they're like, yeah, 3 minutes. They let him die. They let him die. But he went out. He killed and then died.
Tell
That's what
me,
happened.
What joke
he
would
would
you
be
like to
fine
die
with.
to? What joke would you like, if
Oh,
out
man,
of
what
your
bit?
jokes, what bit would
Well,
you like to die
Oh,
to?
I know.
Do you know?
hmm
But I
As
would-
of what I'm doing right now,
Yeah. Any
would
bit.
be-
What bit would you like to
It would be my O-Face bit, where I did an audition for Orangina, and the guy asked me to do my O-Face on camera, and I didn't know what it was. But there's
She's a
one
Christian
joke in
family.
it where I'm talking about how you dress for an audition, and
Yeah.
every time I get dressed for an audition, a hooker gets her wings, and I show up in the waiting room, and the girls, they even have shorter skirts on. Their skirts are so short, when the wind blows, their vaginas sound like a jug band. That's the joke that when I get to it, the one where you're like,
You see it coming, you say, you're like, oh, this
Oh, here it goes.
yeah,
This
yeah.
is
You
fine.
know, like that last one, watch
Yeah.
it, boom.
And then she died.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
That would be great. Which one would you die to?
Oh man, what's the
Oh,
what? What do you think?
go,
What's your
you
guess?
go, and I want to see if I'm right.
Here's how life goes. At the
you would go back.
if I go back to gear, if I got it's an 18-minute bit back from birth to death.
Yeah.
And at the end, if I just locked up, they'd be like, just fucking
That would
happen.
actually.
That would be
What
that would be
yours
pretty.
be?
Well, I think I would try to make it against cast. Like I would, so I wouldn't make it, so it wouldn't make any sense.
Right.
And
Way funnier. by the
Yeah,
way.
because Joke Band of Vaginas made a lot of sense.
No. This one made sense.
Yeah,
I'm
good,
with you
yeah,
about
good.
the jug
Really
and the vagina.
irreverent. What would it be?
There is, I tell a joke about my son. He ate one of my edibles, and it's 175 milligrams.
Oh no!
And-
How big is your son?
He's built like me.
Oh no!
How old is he?
He at the time he was, man, let me tell you something. I walked into his room and he's laying on his bed in his underwear. That's it. Doing this with his hands. And I asked him,
That's fine.
I go, what's going on, man? And he goes, you wouldn't understand.
Yes.
So that story, the whole story is online, but dying at the end of that, because listen, my stories about my son are my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just, I connect with them
Yes.
in a way when I tell them that I don't connect with other stories.
Yep.
And that one happens to be my favorite because I've only ever told it 3 times. And one time, it was in Denver at Comedy Works.
So you're not wait. It's not part of an act you're doing right
Okay,
now?
so I told the story 3 times.
Right.
The third time I told it, and I only told it because he was here. And you see it on the video. And I go, you here? I'm going to tell that story about you eating my weed. And you hear him go, oh, I hate that story. So I don't do it in an act
Yeah.
because it got put online before I could, but it's got like 5 million views already.
Wow.
So there's no way I can put it in my...
Right.
Right.
That's the reason I would want to die to that one.
Mm.
I don't do it on stage very much.
Interesting.
It would be more like a personal joke. It is to me a personal joke with me and my son
Yeah.
because it's one thing I tease him about all the time.
Did he have? Was it a good trip the whole time? Was he good?
Yeah, he's a professional.
You're like, by the way,
Yeah.
you can't teach this. Yeah. Come on, kid.
He's a natural.
He did ask me at one point in time when I asked him, I go, you sure you don't need any help? And he goes, let me ask you this. I go, yeah. And he goes, can you hear this? And I go, no. And he goes, you can't help me. And I was like, okay. That's a deal. Yeah.
Wow, that's another level.
Yeah, man. He was fucked up. He
Right,
was
you
fucked
can't-
up.
His agent's housekeeper, he had the sodas. And do you know TJ?
Yes.
So TJ, is a professional for
Yes.
40-something years. His housekeeper, while he was gone, drank one of his very high-powered, didn't know, and then disappeared, walked away from his house without her car and everything. And he gets a call from his sister because they shared the housekeeper who's like, what the fuck did you do to Esmeralda or whatever? And she, I guess, had a really bad day and went to the hospital. Took herself to the hospital.
She had no
She
concept.
On foot. She was like, I need help.
She's like, I need help, but I'm not high enough to know I can't afford an ambulance.
And I'm not driving.
Yeah. You know what I've started doing every Monday night?
What?
And this has helped my stand-up. And this is, I'm sure, specific to me. I'm not saying everybody should do it to other stand-up. But every Monday night for the last, I think, year and a half, I've gotten higher than I should. And I turn on my Facebook Live and I talk for an hour.
Oh, no.
And I'm going to tell you why it's helped me. It's made me so comfortable with silence because it's just me talking.
Yeah.
And it's made me realize, you can't be funny for an hour straight.
Well, how many people watch this every week?
Between 10 and 25,000.
That's awesome.
I mean, I'm going to go watch it now.
Yeah, now I'm
Wouldn't
watching
you?
it.
Just so you know, every month, the last 5 Mondays, I take mushrooms and then I smoke weed.
Okay, what is your Facebook handle?
Yeah, it's
Tell
at
everybody.
Josh Wolf Comedy.
What's going on with you?
I tell you, man, it's so freeing. It's the most freeing.
Oh, no, we're in that conversation now. We should be sitting on a rock.
No, dude, it's the most freeing thing because I'm like, all right, I've given up trying to be funny for the whole hour. And it really is just about, I do the most ridiculous, silly things and I get to get it all out in this hour. And for me, it's just like, there's nobody, no agent saying don't do this. There's no club owner saying you can't talk about this. It's just fucking me. And it's been the most freeing things for my comedy because now I stand on stage and if I'm trying to find jokes, look, I can't embarrass myself more than I do every Monday night.
He was actually setting a bar for
No,
himself.
we're gonna have this discussion. We've had discussion with many guests. Now, I have asked her specifically. I said, I'm so directed and so, and I've asked. I said I should do hallucinogen. I should do hallucinogens.
How well do you know him?
He knows my reputation.
Yeah,
well.
yeah. I mean, just you gotta have a clear mind when you go in.
I know, but I am. But
that's
I'm not,
my whole point.
But in the world that I live in the darkness that I was raised in, and what I talk about, I'm saying, and that I still maintain this
amazing, but
good attitude most of the time.
No,
most. I said most of the. I said most of the time. I didn't. I'm not going to give you a percentage because it might be close. It might be a close election on good and bad. But I keep my mind straight. What would happen?
Here's what I would suggest you do. This is what I do every Monday. I don't take enough 2-trip balls. I take 2 caps and 2 stems, just enough to make me happy and to open my brain up to different possibilities.
But your tolerance is crazy.
No, not for shrooms. For weed, yes.
He just started doing shrooms.
But the shrooms thing, I really just started every Monday night. Man, and I found some great jokes. I've remembered some stories from my past that it has been the best thing for my stand-up, without a doubt. Do you vomit
on camera at the end?
No, but I would. I'm not against it.
So there's no pausing. You just roll with whatever
hour
happens.
Straight. This week or 2 weeks ago, I got a little high, and I'm by the way, one of the things that I do is I put on weird glasses, I wear weird hats.
Right.
I just get as silly as I can, because for me it's just like whatever. This is my time. You're not paying for this, but I wear lots of different sunglasses. Like I have these big Jackie O sunglasses. I have weird ones, but I have these googly eye glasses that I put on. And I was wearing a cowboy hat. and wait a second.
Do people get high with you?
Oh, do I have to pick? Oh, it's over there. There's a picture on my phone. But yes, people get high with me.
Essentials, we'll put it up.
They pick it along. But I have this new character who came out a couple weeks ago named Cookie Man. Oh. And Cookie Man, all of a sudden, I was high and I was streaming a little bit. I put these glasses on, and Cookie Man, man, he doesn't like it when people touch his cookies. And I did like this, googly eyes, cowboy hat, like, if you touch my fucking cookies. Dude, I went back and watched it the next day. I'm like, that's insane. It's literally an insane person. But the comments were like, this dude is out of his fucking mind. But it was more fun than I can remember. And for me, that hour is just about fun.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go watch it at Josh Wolf Comedy.
Josh Wolf Comedy, that fan page.
I think you. It's so funny what people watch. I was. A couple things have happened in this conversation. Number one, we have someone that votes that I should try it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But did you hear what he said? You
start small.
To go into it with a clear mind.
And start small.
It's the only reason why I and everyone else has said the same thing. That
Here's the thing.
It's the clear. So tell Josh.
If you let darkness seep in.
Yes. You cannot turn
I will
that
not.
shit
I don't
around.
believe in darkness.
Okay.
Perfect.
So
well, that was very
Josh.
Convincing. I don't
believe in darkness at all.
Yeah, you looked around a little bit when you were saying it.
Okay. So with his background, manic depressive, schizophrenic, alcoholic mother, killed a guy, killed herself, sister. So
you can't sit with me and do this while I'm on this. You can't sit there and tell these stories.
I would agree with that too. Yeah.
The reason why mainly is I don't want to be the caregiver, right? Because when people go on a bad trip, it never turns around. And
snowboarding.
Tell him how. So he's doing his night special. It's called Stories I Shouldn't Tell, and he's finally addressing some of that stuff that happened in his childhood.
Yeah.
And tell him sometimes the reaction you've had when you get off stage. Tell
people,
the world.
Well, do I want to hear the people that agree with me that are like, dude, my dad sat in a bar with me
when
from
you
4 to 7. I was in a bar with my dad every night.
What?
Oh yeah. Well, my first memory is I was 4 years old in a bar with my mom, and I got picked up by LAPD. Wait.
Your mom took you into the bar?
My mom took me to a bar. The jokes I do. My mom. I'm 4 years old, and I'd go to bars with my mom. I didn't go with her. I mean, she took me. I wasn't like, yo, mom, it's 10:30. I'm 4. Where's the party up in this bitch? What are we doing? I gotta get my apple juice on.
Yeah, you weren't getting ready in the bathroom. Like,
hold on, mom.
I'm feathering my hair.
Yeah.
By the way, excellent improv there. I knew that you were feathering before you even said.
Oh yeah, did you see me feather? Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
So she took me to bars with me because babysitters cost $3 drinks an hour.
Oh,
And so,
my God.
so it's a true story. I tell this story about going in the bar.
But tell Josh your reaction when you first go in the green room before you come and talk to people.
That's gone away. That was for the first 10 shows. First 10 shows, I went into the green room and I was like, because I talked about my sister's suicide. I kind of tried to solve suicide with this one. And I was like, I hit the green room and I was like, oh. And I was like, it was hurt. It hurt. And then I told her, I go, you know, the last time I teared up, I go, don't know why this show's making me do this, because Norman Rockwell didn't.
Yeah.
And I said, I got to keep doing it because I'm not to the absurd yet. I'm telling the real stories, and I'm not to the absurd yet. I'm through to the absurd now. Now I get it.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah. He's changing his mind, by the way.
No, I'm not. Well, let me ask you something, because I had this experience with an hour show that I did. Was it cathartic? Is this show cathartic for you?
Yeah, but the first 10 shows got me through, like, talking about my sister's suicide, talking about some of the stuff that happened with my kids and my mom. It's like it really rolled on me a little bit. Like, I'd get outside, good night. It was like purging something.
Yeah.
Purging something.
And do you feel better now?
Yes. Now it's becoming. And then people come up to me and start going, dude, man, I'd never have told this story, but my mom kidnapped me when I was a kid. I tell my story about being kidnapped by my dad. And,
yeah, but just think of what he's going to remember and talk about in his 19th special that he's gonna cry over.
Let's do this.
Okay.
Let's Mike 19th special.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's coming out a little
special.
at a time.
Good to be here.
The Stephen Hawking special. Good to be here.
They're talking about my prostate cancer.
That's gonna be my favorite special.
Yeah, your 19th special called Prolapsed Anus.
Yeah, exactly. Don't push really hard.
It fell out again today. I think we microdose. We start small. We microdose them.
Oh, shit.
You know what I mean? We start small.
Josh Wolf, PhD.
How do you? Well, if you microdose,
psychedelic helper dude.
Yeah, that's closer.
Yeah.
Helper dude is much closer to my official. How are you with weed at all?
Fine. The only time we ever had problems, we got some edibles out of Denver right before Denver went legal.
Mm-hmm.
Some dudes, fan dude, take these, and then he gave us a lecture. He gave us literally talked to us as if.
They had this crazy strength product available right before it became legal because they were hoping to enter the market with the strongest, which I don't even think they were able to right away, but they gave it to us and we were like, okay, we'll take that.
So
and it wasn't a good night. I'll just say that.
Went to our cabin and the guy
You took drugs from strangers? I'm just trying to get the
it
story
was
down.
in a sealed package. It wasn't in a baggie.
In
but it was from a person you didn't know?
It had package and
you can't buy one of those sealed things on
we couldn't at the time.
Okay, all right.
And this guy and remember it was medical and they were
in
getting
hindsight
ready.
It sounds like a terrible idea.
This guy had a by the way, he really
I hate him. I really hate him for that.
Yeah, you cleared it up. You took drugs from a stranger.
Yeah,
no, we actually didn't listen to him. Here's what he said. He said, by the way, there's 3 Kit Kat bar size. He goes, do not. He goes, when was the last time we had? I go, high school. I was all over it. No, he's like, no.
It's different weed.
It's been weaponized.
And he goes,
crap.
take a little piece off. You should take a little piece and just see how that goes. We're at the cabin. We're like, what could happen? We each took a whole bar. And
you know, like really cool people do. We drove 6.5 hours north. We put on pajamas, got blankets, snuggly things, and
then
snacks.
Took the edibles
because we basically insulated ourselves in bubble wrap. Like cool people do that do drugs.
Exactly.
So there was nowhere to go.
911 was
pre-dialed.
You had 911 already dialed.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just in case. Don't know what's gonna happen.
You had the medic alert button around your neck.
I'm high and I can't get up.
Started a fire outside for a smoke signal just in case. You had it all. Okay.
Yeah,
and then we ate the whole thing.
And it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
No,
How long were you high?
For 7 years.
No, it was like 6 o'clock. We started at 7 o'clock.
I was crying to God to make it stop.
12 hours, 14 hours.
So at what point did it become comfortable?
Never.
It was edibles. It went.
And then it wouldn't stop doing that.
Fine. It was fine for a while, and then it wouldn't stop. And and
mine was fine for 20 minutes. I took the same amount that he did.
Wait, did you start to get high 20 minutes later?
Oh,
you're fucked.
Oh, yeah.
If you take an edible and it happens to you within 20 minutes, it's going to be a long evening.
I wanted to play it off. I told him, I said, let's go outside and jog in the snow because I thought maybe that would help clear my mind and get cold air on my face. That was 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
Bear Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
And I kept saying, no, Bear Valley.
Yeah.
Bear.
It means the Valley of the Bears.
Bears.
Yeah.
We have bears here.
When there were Indians, they were like, that's where the bears are.
Yeah,
Let's call that Bear Valley.
It's not naked people. It's bears.
Yeah.
It's spelled
It's
different.
not Edible Valley.
Yeah. So we got so high, and at one point she was vomiting in the bathroom
Projectile.
because it was so much for her system, wasn't used to it. And I was in the bed under 3 blankets, shivering.
You were cold.
Singing
Freezing
Rhinestone
cold.
Cowboy.
Oh, too
Laughing
bad.
hysterically while I'm, no joke, projectile vomiting streams of food.
We've told this story.
Crying
This
to
is
God to save my
amazing.
life that I'm going to volunteer in Darfur. I'm terrified. I know I'm going to die.
Why
I
wasn't there a
vomited
camera
everywhere.
on
You know what
this?
we're doing? We're going to tell this story. Guys,
And-
this story is going to be on Christopher Titus TV. Ray and I are going to mic
Oh,
it, and we're going to
God.
tell this story.
Well, so don't
You
tell
know what else
anyone.
you should do?
What?
Animate it.
Really?
Tell the story and then get an animator to animate her projectile vomiting.
The problem is that...
and you undercover singing. You tell the whole story and then think about animating it.
Okay.
Super
We're
funny.
in. We're in. So here's a producer has helped us out. The problem with it was, what made me laugh so hard, she thought I was laughing because she was vomiting. In our bathroom, in the master bedroom of our cabin, I put a frosted glass door,
Yeah.
not thinking that at night when there's light shining, or the moonlight shining through, if even the lights are off, you can see the silhouette of the person sitting on the toilet, except I'm seeing her on her knees puking into the toilet. I'm seeing a silhouette of my lovely wife puking, and I'm like, and here's what I thought. I wasn't laughing at her. I was thinking, what kind, honestly, this went through my head. What asshole puts a glass door on a bathroom?
Yeah.
I got real insight into what an idiot I was. And I was like,
I just want you to
and
get,
then I
though-
had a double level, like I was laughing at me for being an idiot.
The only way you could have seen my silhouette, though, was to be in the other room while I was dying. That was the whole thing. And I'm in the bathroom, and he's laughing hysterically. We had taken the banister off
Feeling
the stairs
bad,
to get
too.
upstairs. When we started panicking, we had to climb the stairs with no banister. You should have seen that.
I was doing rehab on the cabin, and
Oh,
I had taken
God.
we was replacing the banister, so
Yeah.
they happened to be off. So we were so high when we decided to go from the living room upstairs that we had our backs against the wall and holding hands.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
This should be. If this isn't animated, how is this not animated?
Sliding up the stairs.
My wife took an edible, and she threw up also. And so every time she takes an edible, she throws up. And the first time
Why is that?
I'm not sure, but every time she throws up, she thinks she throws up her teeth. So, I'm a comic.
How old's your wife?
She's my age.
That's funny.
So when she said to me, "Are those my teeth?" I said, "Yeah."
Oh,
no, why she?
How am I gonna say no? I grew up with 3 older brothers, and I'm a comic. If you ask me if those are your teeth, those are your fucking
Never
teeth.
getting high with him ever.
No. But she was like, "Are they really?" I go, "No. But they grew back already. They're full in. But those were your old teeth. Those are new, better teeth." I go look.
I like you turned it around.
Well, I had to make her freak out once, and then I regained.
Wow.
But so the edible situation can get a little dicey. My brother, so I take edibles every night usually. And my brother was like, he's an older brother. And so he has that bravado. And he goes, "I'm going to take what you take." I go, "I wouldn't do that."
Nope.
And he goes, "I'm an older brother." I go, "You know what? Good point. Maybe you should." So, because I know he's going to.
No, he's not an asshole.
Like
His brother's an
we are.
asshole.
Yeah.
His brother. You got an expert in the room. You literally have. I'm not on an NFL field and go, "Hey, I can take a hit
I'm
like
just
anybody else."
saying there are more of us out there.
I'm older than you.
Oh.
I can take a hit from a linebacker. It's the same as you.
And you know what else? I said no once. I'm not his dad.
Right.
Exactly.
You want to go in? Okay. I told
But I'm
you.
calling Dad.
Yeah. But everybody in the family's going to know about it. An hour and a half later, he sent me a text.
He wasn't with you.
No, because I made him go home and be by himself.
Oh, even worse. Now that's an asshole.
Yo, but listen, man, my brother put me in, those couches that pull out into beds?
Oh, yeah.
He used to put me in it and fold it back up. So fuck him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Valid.
Listen, I got lots of payback still in my head.
Right.
So text it later, and it was just numbers. I text him back. I go, "What is that?" And he goes, "My vital signs. I'm freaking out." He was at 7-Eleven, and he had his arm in the blood pressure machine. And he was texting me with one hand. I go, man, you need to relax a little bit and get out of CVS. He go, I go, get out of CVS. And he was like, I can't. I need to know if my vitals are normal. I'm like, well, they're not gonna be normal when you freaking the fuck out.
How are you? They're like, man, I gotta get some medical attention, but I don't want a doctor to see me. CVS. like just sitting there. That would be weird to be waiting in the prescription line and just see a guy hooked in the machine panicking,
sweating.
6:30 over 20.
No, I am a big fan of fucking with people. I'm a big fan of practical jokes.
So are we.
I'm a big fan of of almost forcing people to laugh at themselves.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because if the people who don't want to laugh at themselves, I will go in harder. Just so you see, look, it's okay. It's okay.
Everybody has family members that you just go, well, how come this isn't funny to you? Like, why are you taking this shit so serious?
I love practical jokes.
Me too.
I've often been called an asshole for that.
Me too.
I have a question. So health-wise, you're really healthy. So what do you know about marijuana and THC and CBDs? Because we're really high, we're really into CBDs and stuff. Really, sort of. You look really healthy. Like you seem to get high a lot, and you're fine. It doesn't affect you.
Well, so the CBD, I'm sure you've researched the qualities for that, right? Yeah. But for me, I just take preemptive strikes. One, I'd never smoke before 8 p.m. Okay, so I'm not a dude who gets up in the morning and smokes.
Right.
And if I don't do enough work, if I don't think that I've done a full day's work, I don't get high that night. So for me, I know a lot of guys wake and bake and all that stuff. I think that's terrible for you. To be honest with you. It's like waking up and popping a beer and drinking all day.
Yeah, your life comes apart, right?
Yeah, it's so you balance. 100% about balance. The second thing is, man, I pre-make my snacks. Or I am gonna eat 27 bags of Skittles.
There is an excellent point right there.
I go out ahead of time. I make sure there's berries and watermelon and what I'm gonna get in and eat. And I make sure what's not in the house is the stuff that I would stuff my face with. And so I'm just smart about it, man, because I can't eat an In-N-Out burger every night as much as I would like to.
So get some broccoli ready to be steamed.
You're not going to eat broccoli when you're high.
No,
it has to be something you would eat.
With some cheese stuff on it?
I would eat that actually. Watermelon with a little tahini on it. I like that stuff. I will eat. The tough thing about eating almonds and stuff is that there's not enough saliva in your mouth. You know, when you try to chew an almond and you're high, you got cotton mouth. It's like making paste.
Just sticks.
You look like the dog with peanut butter.
just can't get the almond off your lip.
It's not good. But I always go in ahead of time. And like I said, with everything else, everything in moderation, including moderation, by the way.
You're a professional.
And just
100%.
Before you ask if we have ads today, we actually had a CBD company supposed to be today, but we haven't received the sample product yet.
Right. And they said we can't.
From the weed company. Yeah. So we need to try it first before.
So they're going to listen to the test and be like, and there's a guy at the weed company going, oh, we didn't say that.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly right. You know what my favorite thing is? When I ask people in my crowd, and there's a lot of people in my crowd who smoke weed. Who smokes weed? Even today, it takes them so long to go. Yeah. It's like one person claps here and then it's a slow. I'm like, you fucking stoners. Yeah. Get your shit together.
It's so true.
The synapses are just not firing as fast as they should because they're high all the time.
You know, it's like we were talking about how you like being appreciative of the job that we have and talking about how hard the road is. A lot of people don't know this, but I met you like 2004 or 5.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
Was it the very beginning of Chelsea or pre-Chelsea? It might have been right at the very beginning.
Was it? See, I thought it was pre.
If it was pre, it was right before the show started.
What year did it start? Do you remember?
Oh, shit. Well, it ended 5 years ago. So maybe 2008 or something.
Yeah,
maybe it was pre.
Is the year going to make a big difference?
No.
Shut up.
Just want to make sure if the year's going to make this story work, nail it. If it's not...
We did just fall into a hole. We were like 2004.
Thank you very much for pulling that out. I appreciate it.
I did get locked into it too.
Yeah.
just want to make sure.
Wow.
If it's like a Lincoln story, we need to know that the Civil War was going on. If it's,
I was like hypnotized by him figuring out
All right,
the
just
year.
want to check.
No, you're
I don't know what just
Thank you. I
happened.
appreciate that.
So it was pre-Chelsea
Yeah.
because you were not really known to me. Somebody suggested you to me and I was booking all the clubs and you came out and you worked Shreveport Funny Bone for the first time. And it's interesting because he also worked it the first time I met him. TJ wanted us to meet each other. And so I booked him there. And speaking of crappy clubs, now that I'm a comedian, now that I have that kind of perspective, I thought we were doing it right. No. Oh my God. Now that you go to some of the improvs or stand up live or whatever, it's wow.
You also there was a police force in the area who liked to tase the headlining comics.
They were her best buddies. Yeah.
Those were all my best friends.
Didn't they wear like an orange vest or something that made them stick out from the other police
They
force?
wore yellow police shirts and the bulletproof vest over it.
Right.
But they were the downtown district cops.
They
and
had
would
their
always,
own rules.
Yes. Oh, yes, they did.
Yeah, they were
know
cops
a lot
from an
of
old
things.
Burt Reynolds movie.
Yeah.
There was just a whole crew.
100. When I heard Josh Brolin got tased in Louisiana, I go, bet you that was Shreveport. And they're like, yeah, it was. I'm like, yeah, I know. Was the guy wearing a yellow shirt? That motherfucker.
So then they would wander with us down to the bar and hang out in uniform. And so it was really, you had your own like escort service, but you both were tased, right?
Yep, I got tased.
Where'd you get tased?
I think they did arm and I took it. I was like, good. I took it. Arm. I didn't go.
They went double leg.
Oh yeah, they would do it at the same time.
Yeah, double leg.
Yeah.
The guy, they even asked me, do you want to get shot or do you want to do the tase? And I told them, I said, first of all, guys, this is where Papa makes his money.
Yeah.
So
what if it goes there?
I can't be falling face forward. So whatever happens, you got to hold me up.
Yeah, we don't want an errant probe.
Yeah. This is, and then I'm doing this for the rest of my life. So I go, what? And they go, we'll get you one on each leg. And we'll hold you up. And the guy was like, do you want a copy of the video? I'm like, video?
Yeah, they started video.
Like,
it became a gig.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I don't want a copy of the fucking video.
Yeah, but wouldn't you now with social media?
Yes,
and stuff?
I wish I had a copy of that video. But
well, you know what? We should just we should just tase each other and see how that goes.
Now, I will. There's a guy.
Titus on mushrooms.
Oh my God! Oh.
Even better. What else could we add to this scenario?
That would shock you right back into what? Wow, tased on mushrooms seems like a really bad idea,
doesn't it? Doesn't it seem like a horror
even
show.
Off mushrooms? Yeah, it's a really bad idea.
We've really been on the psychedelic track for a minute now. I like it, but I want to talk about something. What would you think? Okay, I'm going to transition this. What would you think? Because Trump says he doesn't drink or anything. He obviously does Adderall or something. But Trump high.
Oof.
On what, weed?
Yeah, weed.
Well, first of all, he's going to look like, what was that dude in the Popeye cartoon who had the stack of hamburgers?
Yeah, Wimpy.
Yeah. 100% he's going to have a stack of hamburgers. And to me, even though he has tiny hands, I think he's a 2-bite burger dude.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right? Maybe 3-bite.
For sure.
He's a 3-bite dude.
Just wolfing it.
I think so. I don't think he chews it. And I think he nails it down. I think he's in his underwear, boxers.
No
but
way
still
does he
with
wear boxers. No way. He's a briefs dude.
Briefs, still with, I think.
With that gut
and when he lets his hair down at night, that's stringy and it falls down.
So that's what I think what happens. I think he gets really high and his hair goes crazy. And he spends
because his hair is like he's got to look.
It's all over the place,
like Benjamin Franklin.
But I think he runs around with it like in the wind.
Yes,
and if he's high, he puts a fan in front of it and lets it blow.
Yeah, but but his hair. I've seen it. You've seen it down a couple. Someone did a picture because the way he combs it, they said this was what it looks like at night.
Yeah,
he looks like Benjamin Franklin if he followed the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
It just looks like one of those old fat hippie guys. That's what he looks like.
It really when the wind blows, and it blows it up.
Yes,
you're like that. Really looks like just one long hair.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Like how the hell did you get
all of it? But it's like all all of the hair comes from right here. Is that what I'm looking at right now?
He winds it, sprays
it's pretty amazing.
So at night it's just a little like one patch I think that comes down, which explains why Melania is so attracted to him.
I will tell you, his tan seems to be getting thicker.
Yeah.
Not darker. Thicker, like you could put your finger in it.
The raccoon thing is getting weirder and weirder. It's the shade difference between here and here. And you're the president. You could get a makeup person that would just fix it.
Fill it in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Except, you know, women's makeup, they do it bright around your eyes because it's supposed to make you look younger. That's why they tell you never tan
It
there.
makes him look like something bad
But
happened.
you would think with all that money that he would know that this is not the best method, right?
Well,
he would see himself
It's
on
obviously
TV.
spray tan now too because he can't get into a tanning bed. I think he
No,
probably
it's a
can't
spray
get
He's
tan.
massive.
He needs a king tanning bed.
He's a massive, like he's put on some lbs. He's a massive.
So here's I don't want to talk about this today. So I've been watching his speeches. We watch his speeches. The Armageddon Update, we actually did a bunch of speeches where he's out of his fucking mind.
Yeah.
And then we compared them. We put W up, we put Obama up, and we put Clinton up after the G7. And like we're used to stupid now. So a lot of people say, well, you don't know what it's like, man. President's hard. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna ask you guys a presidential question off the cuff.
Okay.
And you get like a minute to answer it.
Okay.
Eloquently. All right. Who wants to go first? Anybody? I'll go first.
Are we going to be able to ask you one?
Yeah, you get it. Then you guys can ask me. You want
Okay, got it.
you want me
And
to
I
go
do
first?
want to say we do this for a living. We know how hard it is to have to speak off the cuff in front of a group of
especially
people.
about off the cuff about
and
something I don't know anything
We know
about.
that they didn't have airports during the Civil War.
Yeah, the Continental Congress did not invade
the
the airports.
No.
Even off the cuff,
And
we
the
know that.
airports.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my question. So let me think of. Okay. All right. This is for Josh.
Okay.
Your border policy seems to be a little.
Am I answering as him or as me?
You.
Okay.
So well, you wouldn't have, but I'm going to go on his policy.
Okay.
Your border policy seems to be a little anti-American, anti-Constitution. What are you going to do to get these people out of camps?
Well, what I really want to try to do is try to unite the families and the children back together as quickly as possible. I think the worst thing that we can do as a country is make enemies. That's how things like Al-Qaeda and ISIS get started, by making enemies of people, by treating them subhuman. So the first thing I'd like to do is reunite these people and try to find a humane way to figure out a legal way to get everybody across the border, living with their families and living in a better country, in a better place for their life.
Okay.
30 seconds, perfect, eloquent, made a point, tried to do. I see. There you go. All right, awesome.
Are you supposed to be presidential? We're a politician still, right?
No. You can.
Did you want me to go the full minute?
No. He just went. You answered the question. That's the thing.
Nailed it.
Nothing worse than watching a politician continue to talk after we all know what you mean.
Yeah.
These guys.
Yeah. You don't need to fill the whole minute.
Right. No, you don't.
He does a lot of talking.
Do you want to do? You want to ask Ray?
Okay. So I understand that climate change may not be the most important thing to you and your administration, but what are you going to do to make sure that the ice caps aren't melting at such an incredible rate?
First of all, I would like to thank everyone for being here today. As I stand here and I look out across this garden and I see the diversity of people here, I'm reminded what Martin Luther King said about how a human being can change himself, but as a community, we can change the world. And so I celebrate you all being here. I appreciate your question. And I just want to thank you again for being here. Such a beautiful day. Our weather has just been so beautiful lately. And, I love the polar bears. I'm just being him now.
I
was like, this
you were
does sound-
30 seconds into not saying shit.
Yes,
I was like, this
that's
does
what he
sound
does.
presidential.
Yeah, but currently.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. And so I just wanted to say that as a community, while I am reminded of that quote, that I do believe that we can all come together and come up with a unified decision that we all agree on, because we are Americans and we're given that opportunity in this country that no one else is really truly given. We have a beautiful democracy, and I look forward to sitting down with all of you to discuss what you think is best. Thank you.
Boom.
Yeah.
All right. So a minute. Okay. You did 30. I'm gonna give you 36 because your first 30 seconds
I couldn't
were
help it.
That was a political jerk off
Yes.
worse than I've seen,
Yes.
and it was masterful. Honestly,
it felt good.
Honestly, I would elect you. What'd she say? I don't know.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
but you
Sounded
sounded
real smart.
But she said words
Yeah.
and said them correctly.
And in a sentence that I understood.
But that's the whole point, right? Is that if anyone could speak and sound presidential for a minute
All right,
and not sound crazy.
Am I gonna do one?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Go ahead.
What do I want to ask
Give him a
you?
gun question.
Oh, yeah, but he's so good at that. All right. Mr. President, I wanted to ask, this is why people need to get the video version. I wanted to ask you about your stance on gun control, or possibly changing any of the gun laws that we currently have, given the mass shootings that have been on the rise over the last several years in this country.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say to every family out there that has been had someone taken from them, who has lost a father or a brother or a sister, a mother, cousin. It doesn't matter. People think that our gun violence in this country is one person getting shot, but that person knows 80 people. So 80 lives got affected per person, at least. There's people that lost their incomes. They lost their head of household. It's not just, oh, too bad we lost somebody. I don't believe in gun control. I believe in idiot control. You know, there's countries around the world. We have a map, whether it's Japan, whether it's Australia, whether it's England. We have a map of what works. We actually basically limit who gets guns. We take the idiot factor out, you can still get a gun. In Japan, it takes a while to get a gun. They actually interview 5 of your friends. Let me ask you this. If we could just get 10 of your friends to sign off that you're okay to have a gun, would you be okay with that? You know, maybe we have a gun DMV in this country where basically you have to go down, you have to actually qualify, you have to take your gun apart, put it back together. You have to show that you have a gun safe. When you travel in your vehicle, you have to have your gun locked up on the way to a range or wherever you're transporting your gun. These are simple rules that normal thinking Americans would be fine with. What I want to get rid of is the man who believes he can take an AR-15 into a Denny's because he might get shot. We're selling yoga pants with holsters in them now. That's the line for me.
That's not where my dick's supposed to go?
No, that is not. Because you have to take it out and put it over into the pocket.
Wrong.
But it's really weird. Yeah.
Or right.
Exactly. I think that's upward dog. Not sure what that is.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. But so here's our point, guys. All I was saying was we've got this guy who's supposedly a billionaire, supposedly the best deal maker ever, can't finish a damn sentence.
That was beautiful, by the way.
Yeah.
And about halfway through, your stomach started growling, and it was almost like a drum roll buildup. It was like really emotional.
This take is making me hungry.
I backed myself up.
It was amazing. You should be president.
It is what's alarming to me is what's become okay.
Yeah. Well, by the way, people, try this in your house. Sit around with your family at dinner and go, all right, we're going to ask you a presidential question. See how you answer it. Because then you'll start to realize that we have the dumbest guy.
Yeah.
Like the
do it, get high, and then do it.
Because then it'd be really funny.
I could still nail it, I think. I think I could still nail it.
A little slower, but you'd look more thoughtful.
I would 100% be a little slower, but it would definitely be more colorful.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would have better descriptions.
Yes, you would.
Yeah, I would definitely.
Again, something
We're definitely
I would watch.
giving you mushrooms. Are we kidding?
See, I'm telling you.
I like that he vacillates.
No,
on
there's
it,
just
though.
we'll just figure out a safe
I'm
space.
100%. I think we do it.
No, we had the ad.
Oh, they said no until we get the product.
No. You can't do the ad until you've tried the product, which I think it's really cute that the first
All right,
time
so this,
we haven't gotten the product.
We're gonna horse something. This podcast today is brought to you by Combustion Speedwear. Go to combustionspeedwear.com. It's all the cool hot rod clothing. I gave Josh one of the shirts today. It's got a big piston on it, and if you're a car guy, you know what that is. But there's gonna be a lot of people that go, what the hell is that? And then on the back, you just turn around and it says, if you don't know what's on the front of the shirt, you need to slap your dad.
Yeah.
So go to combustionspeedwear.com. Also, by the way, great leather jackets. We will build you the leather jacket you want. Go click on, order it, and we'll get it for you. Japanese silk, Italian leather, combustionspeedwear.com. Check it out. Also, if you want to get any of my DVDs, go to ChristopherTitus.com. You can download them or you can order them. Also, please go to Amazon Prime, watch Amerigeddon, the new special, and Special Unit, my first movie. I directed it and wrote it.
Okay, do you know that your whole special is on YouTube?
Yeah, I put it on there.
Oh, you did on okay.
For free.
For free.
Yes. So go to YouTube,
Did it
watch
change the
Father
numbers?
of the Year,
Yes.
right?
Drastically.
And website comedianjoshwolf.com.
Yeah, this special, I really tried to tell one story, which is the story about my son hit an age where every dude hits, where they look at their dad that first time, they think, "Oh, I could beat the shit out of this guy."
Right.
I
did.
Now, not every guy acts on it, but you look at your dad at least once, like, "Oh, if you fucking tell me to take out the trash again, I'm a right." So the whole special is basically about him challenging me to a fight in the living room, in the kitchen, and the 2 weeks that lead up to that.
Wow.
And
I did one bit about this in one special. You did an entire special about it. That's awesome.
Because So the special obviously vacillates in and out. I tell some other stories, but the actual fight story was so long. I broke it up into 4 parts and put it on my channel.
Wow.
It's about a 30-something minute story.
That's a master. So when you play with structure like that, people don't understand. You can look, a lot of comics just a bit after bit after bit after bit don't really connect. It's just, what do you want to talk about now?
Yeah.
When you actually do that, I saw Lily Tomlin do Signs of Intelligent Life when I was like 2021, and I had no concept of comedy. I was already doing comedy. I was already working. And I saw her put this special together that had a through line and a theme. And ever since then, I can only write like that. That's awesome, dude. That's a master, by the way. That's master class when you do that.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. For me, it's the thing that I'm most proud of. I really am. And it's why I put it up for free. Because I was like, I want people to see this. I want people to see it. And I sold it for $5 for the first 3 months. And then I was like, you know what? I want people to see this. And because you know that if you build it, they will come. That putting it on YouTube has changed my ticket numbers like drastically.
Interesting.
Drastically. I read that 78% of comedy is consumed on YouTube.
Yeah. There's it's the sad thing is that, you know, people don't realize that when we film them ourselves, I put my money into it. We actually have the crew. We put our post-production into it. You know, we do it. And when they take it sometimes, listen, if you're going to come to the show, I guess that's payback. If you're going to come to the show, spend, buy $9 drinks, okay.
Yeah.
But when you don't, when you just steal it, it's weird. It's like having someone take something that I worked 2 years on a bit, a year and a half, 2 years on a new special. And then someone just takes it. If you put it up for free, I guess all you can do is that, right?
Yeah. Is
that giving up, you think?
No, because if I look at the other options, again, Netflix is a viable option that will do things for my business.
Right.
I don't know that the other platforms do outside of ego, right? Outside of saying this network gave me a special. I don't know that it does what YouTube does. And so you make money off of YouTube. It's just a slower trickle.
Right.
Yeah.
And then your back end is your ticket sales.
Merch.
And then your merch sales from that.
It's everything. And so, and you know what? I will tell you something else. Honestly, my favorite part about this special being on YouTube, the demographic for my shows has changed. I have families coming together. Families watch my special together. I had a dad in tears in New Zealand. His son took a picture with me, walked off, and his dad walked up and he said, "This is the first thing he's ever asked me to do with him.
Oh.
Thank you so much."
Wow, that's awesome.
I have gotten more of those messages online. I got, after my show in St. Louis, this really kind of meek teenage girl who came with her brother and her parents after the show. She said, "Thank you very much." I remembered her because she was seemed so genuine, but so shy.
Right.
She sent me this Facebook message that said, my family as a group, the 4 of us, haven't done something together in almost 8 years.
Wow.
She went into the family dynamic a little bit. She said, "You brought us together for the first time in 8 years. Thank you so much."
That's awesome,
dude. So it's things like that.
So I call that the bonus.
Yes.
So through every special, whether there's been these things, whether it was Norman Rockwell's bleeding, I had that happen a lot where people go, "My dad and I didn't talk."
But how cool is that?
I know, it's the bonus. Funny first. I always say funny first. Yep. But if you write well and you actually commit to something, it's the bonus. She's doing a special, her second special. This one's about this is called Alpha Chick. It's all badass women stuff. But the next one's about her mom. She was a caregiver for her mother when her mom had pancreatic cancer, and she's going to take people through that journey. I think that's the difference, And the great thing about Europe and Mr. Bruce Springsteen,
name drop,
told me the story. He said that they really.
What am I supposed to do?
The difference between Europe and here is that they see what we do as art. Where here they just see it as we're just doing dick jokes. And he said
they were more loyal.
Yeah, loyal.
They'll stay with you.
Yeah. And by the way, without a doubt, between my wife and your wife, I mean, people are gonna be like, "What?" Yeah, these guys have outkicked their coverage.
I just looked you up.
Comedy
Holy
works.
Crap.
Oh, my wife's hot.
She's beautiful.
My wife's hot.
Well, this is what's open on my screen.
No, that's our dog.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, she's let herself go."
What happened today?
He leaned over and I was like, "No,
slept late."
Is that what happens
her. Look, this is his wife. Everybody go look up Josh's wife. Her name is Bethany. Her name is not Josh's wife.
Yeah.
Wow, you two are ridiculous. Oh, man.
Yeah.
She is a writer-director.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, she's way smarter than I am. It's but it's the way to do it.
Oh yeah.
Because listen, if the two of us were walking around this world by ourselves,
trouble.
That would be bad.
Something happened yesterday. She stopped me and made me. She was like, "You need to think about what you do."
If you were walking around this world right now by yourself, without her, tell me what type of pitfalls you would have already gotten yourself into.
Interesting.
I would probably be. Well, I'd be dead broke. That's number one.
Me too. 100%.
I'd be. There's some comics when I started that would travel the world in a one like soft duffel bag, 4 shirts, and they ended up painting houses. You and I'd be painting houses
somewhere.
That's what happened. We'd be like, we'd probably start our own business. Yeah, it's not going to work out. And I also, I don't think I'd appreciate things. I wouldn't appreciate things. She sometimes points out that I don't appreciate things. I'm always worried about it as opposed to stopping and going, oh, right. This
to breathe.
Is good. Yeah.
My wife, for sure, the breathe part is just like, you got to breathe sometimes.
Yeah.
What do you feel like that he would like that you have saved him from?
That I have saved him from? I thought you were going to ask what mine would be.
I was going to ask you.
Have him.
Yeah, you don't really have it. By the way, he's done nothing for her. I've done nothing for you. Let's be honest. I got you into comedy,
true.
but that's
I wouldn't say that.
What do you feel like? Do you feel like?
I think that I have certainly helped him see the better side of the world, like of life in general. When he's
more positive.
Yeah, to notice instead when he's stressed or upset about what is, and then I go, look at what we have. Most people don't have, our problems are like really Cadillac problems. And I always say to him, if you could go back to 18-year-old Titus and tell him that you're going to have this and that car and be, a happy best friend marriage. And what would 18-year-old Titus say? No, I do not.
You're right. No, she's right.
But we're always, we always have expectations that we keep raising and we're not noticing what is, right? And so he will, and he does, he stops and he says he does the same thing for me. But
does that help you do that? The mushrooms and the height, does that help you notice things better?
Yes.
Does it open your mind a little bit?
Yes.
I'm afraid of opening my mind a little bit.
I'm afraid of it opening.
I will tell you,
it's so open
every
already.
Saturday Night Late Show. People who come to my Saturday Night Late shows know this. I'm gonna be high as fuck, and I'm gonna find some jokes.
How do you do that?
I'm gonna find some jokes. I'm gonna travel down roads that have never been traveled before, and the people who come to my shows know that it's gonna be. I like weird shit.
Yeah.
He gave me a shirt. By the way, if you go to joshwolf.com,
comedian Josh Wolf.
Comedian Josh Wolf. Wait, what's your website?
Comedianjoshwolf.com.
Okay, comedianjoshwolf.com. You can get the shirt. I have one. It says I like weird shit.
I have one for you too.
Thank you. I love it. I saw it when I walked in, and I was like, "Where did that come from?"
But so the people come to my Saturday Night Late shows. It's a different group of people. There are some people who come to my early show and my late show on Saturday because
I get it. Explain no more. I got it.
Saturday's gonna be
saw the show first show. First show was the show. Second show, what the fuck?
Yeah. But you know what?
It's mini Coachella.
Yeah, dude. The people in the crowd too. So this week,
mini Burning Man.
I was in Baltimore, and I had said something about Waterboy, and some guy did a Waterboy impersonation. I go, "Oh, you got any more impersonations?" He goes, "Actually, I do." I go, "Let's hear him." So he did He did the worst impersonations ever.
Which you knew was going to happen.
Yeah. And then I said, does anybody else have any other talents that they want to share? So,
hey, welcome to Funny Bones Got Talent.
You know they did. You know they did.
Yeah, they did.
And so my Saturday night shows have turned into that. Just sometimes a couple weeks ago, I bring my guitar in the last 10 minutes of my show. I do when I'm by myself, I'll do 80 to 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Last 10 minutes of my show, I'll bring the guitar up just because I like doing it. And I've just turned my show into doing things that I like.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'll get high and I'll play I Want It That Way. And I have 3 crowd members get on stage behind me and do interpretive dance. And the person who does the best interpretive dance wins their server $100.
The fuck is going on with you and your shows? That's awesome.
Dude, it is so much fun. Because I travel so much, I made a deal with myself about the time 2 or 3 years ago when I was like, oh, all the wheels really feel like they're on the track. I'm gonna make sure I put on a good show, but I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have some fucking fun. This has been a job for a long time.
Yeah. Not Friday second show, Saturday second show. Because Friday second show is always the weird one. But
Friday second show, you need your wits.
Yes,
because
exactly.
the crowd is a little.
Yes. That's a good point.
You really need to get in there and be like, hey, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, just doing jokes, folks. Back up. Sit down. Sit down.
You're the Shreveport police voice.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But so Friday late show, you need to.
That's a good point.
And Friday late show, every now and then, I'll bring out the guitar earlier just so I don't hear them. Just so I can drown them out. Drown them out.
And also, they will
play the guitar. And
it's like, it's like coming down rabid raccoons.
By the way, perfect impression of Friday Late Show audience. Have you guys seen Dave Chappelle's new special, the clip where he does impressions? They put out this clip.
Yes, I saw that.
As a comedian, have you seen it?
No.
Oh my God.
We're going to watch it tonight.
You have to watch
that clip.
It soothes something inside of you when he
What does he do, impressions
that.
of the audience?
He did an impression. He listed a long list of character traits. And then he said, do you know who that is?
They yell out Trump.
And he goes, no, that's you, motherfuckers. He basically lit into the audience.
Some of the character traits were you screw anything up, we're gonna ruin your life forever. We hate you forever. And he
you did something 20 years ago. We're gonna ruin your life forever. We're gonna get you. We're gonna catch you.
It's so bad. It sounds like Trump. And then he flips it on. They think he's doing an impression of someone, and it's them.
He goes, no, it's you, the audience. You motherfuckers. You're
That's
the
how
worst.
I see you.
Yeah,
I hate you.
You're the worst.
That's what he's like.
Oh, well, I saw that.
Ballsy.
And I was like,
Boy, that's
that's
Chris Rock, like early special level.
Yeah.
This special. Have you read some of the stuff that people are going after him about?
Mm-mm.
I don't care. By the way, here's the thing about Chappelle is that you say what you want about Chappelle. Chappelle's always been this. I think Chappelle crossed the line in a good way. Chappelle kept getting more Chappelle. And Chappelle never stopped. He didn't stick. You know, and that thing when he took off, I think Chappelle he's going to be a legend for a long time, an icon. He stayed Chappelle. He stayed a good dude. He kept pushing it. He just kept pushing it.
Yeah.
Pushing it. I remember that night we ran into him at that night when that shit broke loose when he came back on the road and was on that tour. We were there in town
where they said he melted down on stage.
We ran into him
because they kept yelling out the Little John stuff. Do Little John, and he just flipped out and sat down and smoked a cigarette. Well, what people didn't realize was he was fulfilling his contract. He had to stay on stage for 35 minutes, and everyone said the next morning in the news he melted down. Dave Chappelle's lost it, and we had run into him in the hotel that night. And
he was just off stage. He literally had got off stage an hour earlier, and his people walked past, and the guy's going, Dave, and then one of his guys goes, dude, that was Titus. Chappelle turns around, walks back, and I go, hey, how was the show tonight? And he's like, oh man, it was weird. That's all. It didn't hit the paper the next day because it was just weird.
Weird show.
Yeah. He's got to deal with shit that we didn't have to deal with.
And here's how fickle I was just thinking how audience members are. We went out to dinner with a friend the other night, and he said, I used to love Chappelle, but now that he's all jacked and stuff, he can't be funny anymore. I don't like him anymore.
You know what?
What?
But people, this is so unique to comedians.
Yep.
Yes.
You like a band, you like that band.
Yes.
Yep.
And
even if one of them kills a guy in a drunk accident, you're like, yeah, that's fucked up.
But I like the music.
Yeah, good music.
By the way, even if one album you don't like, you're still getting the next album. Comics. Let me think. Let me put this to you. Right?
Oh, Amerigeddon, dude. I flipped my NASCAR people when I wrote Amerigeddon about Trump and what was going on. Holy shit. And I go, and someone wrote me something. You used to be funny. I go, how can you think I was right for 7 90-minute shows?
Yeah.
And I write one, which you've seen me do before, and now I'm wrong.
But that goes back to the tribalism that we're talking about.
Yep.
But for comics, think about it this way. So as a comic, as a band, if you and I were a band, we're a new band, we put out 3 albums. On each album, 2 songs that are bangers.
Yep.
But the other 8 songs are meh, but 2 songs are, you know what we are? The biggest band in the world.
Yes.
True.
If you and I put out 3 comedy albums
where
2 tracks are fucking killer, but the other 8 jokes are bad, we're the worst comics in the world.
Totally. Well, we've actually broken down comedy and sucked all the joy out of it.
Okay, so let me just say this really quickly. Tonight, West Hampton Beach Performing Arts Center, 1 show only, and then we're going to fly to Cleveland the next morning and do Cleveland Hilarities. Tomorrow and Sunday.
He's the best.
Yeah,
he is. He's awesome.
Good
Josh is going to Chicago next week.
Yes.
Zanies coming up. Columbus Love. That's Dave's.
Yep.
That's an
Dave's our
awesome
boy.
Columbus
Yeah,
Funny
big
Bone,
dude.
Laugh Boston, where you're from.
Yep.
Right? You're going to be at Laugh. So go to comedianjoshwolf.com, and also he has a podcast
with Freddie Prinze Jr. called Prince and the Wolf.
You guys are like two of my favorite people in show business.
He's such a good guy.
He's a good guy.
Do we have time for him to tell a Prince story, or do we have to have him back?
And now it's stories about Prince.
Oh, I have so many.
Okay, how do you have so many Prince stories?
Well, I have. I have.
Scoot this. We're losing your camera.
I've seen him live twice,
right?
But also, I was in Minneapolis, and I was at his club, and it was, I forget if it was John Lennon's birthday or the day that he died.
What year is this? This was Glam Slam?
This is
Minneapolis, his club in Minneapolis, or you're at 3rd Avenue.
3rd Avenue.
Got it.
Okay. Because I feel like we played a theater. I was touring with the comedians at Chelsea later at the time.
Right next to it.
There.
Yeah.
All of those theaters
right.
are
So
there.
played a theater and we walked over. It was either John Lennon's birthday or death. A bunch of musicians in Minneapolis get together and just play all of the Beatles songs.
That's awesome. I love Minneapolis.
I will tell you, and it was like the Replacements and all of the. But at one point there had to be 20 musicians on stage, just playing. And I heard some songs, and I'm a huge Beatles fan,
right?
And I heard some songs not for the first time, but for the first time.
Yep.
Right.
Which was in a crazy, but up in this booth was just this tiny little fella, man. It's tiny, and
he is Sammy Davis Jr.
Tiny little fella, man. He is. Josh has an extra level of cool. Yeah.
I kept looking up, I was like, that's fucking Prince. Oh my God. So I asked one of the security guys, I'm like, Prince? He goes, yeah, this is his club. He always comes down for this show.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, was he going to get on stage? This is what I loved the most about him.
Yeah.
Ready? He said, nah, he's probably not going to get up on stage. He doesn't want to take away from the night. He just likes the music.
Oh.
And I was like, that for me tells me all I need to know about that dude.
I thought you were going to say he got on stage.
He didn't?
Typically he would, but only after 2 a.m.
He did not. He didn't pull a Chappelle. He was just like, no, he comes and he watches this.
So those theaters, we work there, and they said
awesome.
they always knew that it
Yeah,
was
dude.
him when Chappelle was in town or whatever,
There you
because 50 tickets would get purchased in a block. And about 20 minutes after the show started, 50 dudes, big dudes, would walk in a massive group. You couldn't see who was in the very center. They'd go up to the balcony, sit 10 minutes before the show ended. They would all leave all at once because he would come and watch Chappelle, but he didn't want there to be, of course, 50 people walking in lockstep.
Yeah, he didn't want it.
Probably.
But
You couldn't see him in the middle of 50
But he
people.
didn't go on stage and play while Chappelle
Right.
was on. Like
Yeah.
it was good. Yeah, that was really cool. But that's too good. There was a second story. You have something?
So we were in Vegas and at the Rio, where he had his little,
Yep.
he had his little, and he was doing his
Small
residency
theater, too.
there. And I think it wasn't that his club. Maybe that's what I
Yeah.
heard. But he was doing a residency there for a summer or something. And my wife and I was like, we're going. So we show up, and I asked the bartender ahead of time. I go, what show am I going to watch? He goes, I don't know. It's been different every night. And I said, what? And he goes, he's never played the same show. He said last night he did a show all requests. So he took requests from the crowd. He said, so I heard every genre of music. And I go, he knew all the songs? He goes, oh, he did. And he said, if somebody in the band didn't know it, he would walk over and play the dude's instrument for him.
Wow.
And this is why on our podcast there's a poster of the genius.
So I said, well, what haven't you heard? He goes, I haven't heard anything from Purple Rain. He's never played Purple Rain. And when we went, all he played was Purple Rain. Except he didn't play Darling Nikki. I guess he wasn't playing that anymore, maybe because of his religion.
Yeah.
But he played
the whole album.
The album.
Wow.
That night you guys went.
I mean, if I could have picked
the
tonight,
beautiful one.
To me, okay, my two favorite vocals of all time, Beautiful Ones.
Yep.
And Oh Darling. McCartney's voice in Oh Darling is like, you know what I love about those old lyrics, those old vocals, is they're not produced.
Yeah, no, he sang
So
that.
his imperfections
That's what makes it so
it
beautiful.
perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nobody sounds like whatever the fuck.
Yes.
But the harshness and the growl in his throat,
You believe him.
that is what makes that music. And
Every
Beautiful Ones
time.
to me, that the vocals.
I'm getting chills now.
Me
I
too.
get chills every
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
we
That's
watch.
so
We
weird.
watch Purple Rain on Christmas morning every year together.
Yeah.
And every time we see that scene or I hear the song, I get chills because you believe him. It's real.
Yeah.
You believe that he's looking at her and it kills me.
The YouTube video I was talking about when I asked you if you ever did a deep dive, did you ever see the YouTube video where he supposedly found the solo for Purple Rain, where he was just playing?
No.
It's at his club. He was playing Purple Rain, and supposedly, so when he passed, that was the video that I saw so many times. See the video where Prince found the...
Right.
Yo. His guitar...
Well, my guitar gently weeps. He saw him at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
But he threw that guitar in the air.
It's the coolest part. It didn't come down. We were like, he's a mythical creature.
Yeah.
He floats everywhere.
He's a mythical. The funny thing to me, and I've said it before, is that to watch the other musicians. I stopped watching Prince about the 50th
I agree
time.
with you.
I started watching everybody else, and there's one of the younger kids there. He's someone's son. He's playing, and he's looking. Prince just turns around, and is playing right to him, and he's like, you can just see he's like, I can't believe it.
And huge guitar players are looking at each other like, this dude is next fucking level.
Tom Petty had kind of a look of like this
for a minute,
asshole.
and then at one point, Tom Petty just lets it go. He's like, okay,
all right,
all right, okay, all right. And then he finally goes, well, and you can see him. He goes, we're doing this now. We're just gonna keep doing it.
I think that was Prince's way of saying, hey, everybody, I know I'm not in here yet, but don't forget about me.
No one to forget about him. All right, man, dude. We ended with the Prince story this time.
I love it. Yeah. So I've already said where we're going to be.
Yeah. West Hampton on Friday. People go to Cleveland on Saturday and Sunday. Labor Day Sunday. Come to the show. You're going to be off on Monday anyway.
Yeah, but check out my special on YouTube.
Yes.
It's on my YouTube page.
Father of the Year.
Father of the Year,
out.
guys. Wicked funny dude, and now you know he's high most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
High live on Man. High live on Monday.
Man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You're keeping the Sammy Davis Jr.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
I love it.
Sammy Davis Man is alive and well. Guys, thanks for listening and watching the podcast. From myself, the lovely Bombshell Ray, and the amazing Josh Wolf. Later.
Peace out.
Yeah, man.
I love it.
That's the ending. That's okay.
Hey everybody, it's Christopher Titus with the Titus Podcast. Go to ChristopherTitus.com to get one of 8 comedy specials. Damn! Or go to Amazon Prime to see Amerigeddon and the movie Titus directed called Special Unit. You're gonna laugh, I guarantee it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Later.